Crypto exchange Gemini pricing its IPO above an expected range. Gemini selling 15.2 million shares for $28 each, giving the company a valuation above $3 billion. The company listing at the NASDAQ and under the symbol GEMI. Join us right now first on CNBC. We're thrilled to have him back with us. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, co-founders of Gemini, and we've been talking about crypto together for so long. Congratulations. This is quite the road. When we first started talking about this, I want to say back in 2012, maybe 13, did you think you'd be sitting there and doing a public offering like this?
Short answer is absolutely yes. We actually looked it up. I think the last time we spoke to you was when we launched Gemini in 2015 in October, so almost 10 years ago today. And I think the price of Bitcoin was $380. And so we've come a long way, but we also think it's still very much the bottom of the first inning because we see Bitcoin trading at $1 million a Bitcoin if it disrupts gold. And we think Bitcoin is gold 2.0. And I think we said the same exact thing to you about 10 years ago today. So we think there's easily a 10x from here. And it's still really early. And I think we'll be sitting here 10 years from now and looking back and saying, wow, today was really early.
And I think few people actually listened back then, so hopefully more people listen today.
Guys, how much of your success you think is on the back of Bitcoin itself versus now all of the sort of larger crypto system? We keep talking about Solana, we keep talking about Ether, all of these other cryptocurrencies, obviously stable coins becoming a big part of the industry as well.
Well, I think so. On day one, it was just Bitcoin. So Gemini was a place where people could easily and safely buy, sell, and store Bitcoin. And now I think we have 100+ tokens. So the space has grown considerably over the last decade, but we think it's actually just the beginning. If you look at Project Crypto, that effort from the SEC to bring markets on chain, we recently partnered with NASDAQ to help power that future and bring markets on chain. So we think we're actually just getting started, even though we're a decade in.
For those folks who are thinking about investing in you as part of this IPO, what would you say is the big differentiating factor between what Gemini does, for example, and what Coinbase does, for example? That's obviously a business that's in the public markets that people, I think, know, understand, and obviously there's a multiple on that might be the comp you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot of overlap in the companies, but one of the biggest, coolest products that we have today is the Gemini credit card. I actually brought our Bitcoin Orange card that we released in May, and every time you swipe, you can earn Bitcoin or any crypto that we support. And I think that people realize that
up to 4% back.
Up to 4% back.
Yeah. And that's in crypto real-time rewards that hits your account every time you swipe the credit card and buy. So you could buy a flat screen and earn Bitcoin back, and in the future, that Bitcoin could be worth more than the original purchase. So it's much better than...
How do you access that? Or can you? Or do you leave it there? Or do most people you find just leave it sitting there? It's
real time. So as soon as someone swipes, that Bitcoin or crypto is in your wallet, and you can then spend it or stake it. We think you should hodl it. And in some merchants, we're even offering up to 10% back. So if we think Bitcoin's a 10x from here. So your purchase today at 10% back is actually free.
That's what I have to
tomorrow.
say. When I first heard about this, I thought that's a really interesting way because it's the equivalent of rounding up on every dollar you spend or something.
Right.
You're not thinking about what's going there, and you can save it and hold it. And
I mean, you're not changing your behavior. You're going about your day, but you're investing in your future. You're future-proofing yourself. And so that's super important versus cash is always depreciating, right? Cash is never going to be worth more in the future. And points, who knows what that's worth? It's a total.
And then the
box.
airline lounge game, I mean, you wait online to get into a lounge and then sit on the floor because there's no seats available.
So
people are over.
And there are no sneeze screens. It's disgusting. I'd almost rather stay at one of the... Can I ask you you both were so early and understood Bitcoin so early, and you both go to Harvard. I mean, you're both smart, so I don't care who answers this. So 10 times in 10 years. So at that point, is a couple, I don't know how many more halvings. It'll be almost impossible to mine new Bitcoins in 10 years. We're getting close to 100.
There will be 2 more halvings, I think, in the next like 10 years or in that period. But I think that, look, as Bitcoin increases, like the mining revenue goes up as well, even as
But do we get to where it's not going to keep appreciating and it truly does become something that could be transactional? And then does it lose its value at that point as an inflation hedge against money printing?
So we don't think it actually has to be a transactional currency, just like you're not trying to buy a cup of coffee with gold. It's a store of value, and if that's all Bitcoin is gold 2.0, that's tremendous.
But with gold, you can base it on stock to flow, right? And because there's a replacement per year of how much gold we mine. If we're mining no more Bitcoin, can you even...
You can still mine, and there will be...
still mine.
Yeah, so block rewards, even as the sort of the mint decreases, there's transaction fees and other aspects of that.
Most of the mining rewards will switch to transaction fees. So
I knew you would understand
the supply is fixed, and that's a strength, versus gold is actually slightly increasing.
Right, because every year you can mine. I assume we're not going to run out of gold.
Hey, guys.
It does expand. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew?
In terms of just risks related to the company, you talked about the credit card. The 4% is remarkable. I imagine the economics of that only work if Bitcoin continues to either go up or remain where it is. If Bitcoin starts to fall, that cost then is borne by you in a much more material way, right?
So, no, think of it as like a typical credit card program. We extend consumer credit. We underwrite the consumers in the program. And then the rewards will come from things like interchange. Merchants help fund rewards. So it actually just works as a standalone business, regardless of sort of the price of Bitcoin.
So the 4% is not, you're making money off all those transactions, even at 4%. If Bitcoin were to not go
think
up.
of it differently. You, as the consumer, earn 4%. So we just help you get Bitcoin back into your Gemini account, and it sits there. You can hold it, you can sell it, you can, if it's a currency like Ether or Solana, you can stake it. So it's your Bitcoin, and we joke that it hits your account before the receipt prints when you order your coffee, and definitely before the coffee is poured. And so it's basically, instead of cash back or points back into your account, it's your possession. It is Bitcoin that hits your Gemini account. You see it in the app. It's right there as soon as you swipe your card.